You don't know the power of the dark side. You don't know the power of the dark side.
Alright, I thought I'd start off with a little Star Wars joke. It's always good for a final. Anyway, my name is Mike Bird, and this is Cracking Passwords with Hydra. It's an introduction video, but it's also a follow-along lab created and narrated by me. What we accomplish in this lab, we are going to download a password list from GitHub. There are many password lists included in our Kali Linux distribution, but I thought it would be cool to download one from GitHub. Then we're going to make a new user account. That's going to be our target, and use the password from the list when we make the account. Then we're going to scan our system for vulnerabilities using Nmap. You pretty much have to be able to find a vulnerability in order to attack a system. So if you don't know what Nmap is, I suggest reading about it. Then we are going to update some system settings to allow a function called apt-get to work correctly, which was not working in our spin up of Kali. Then we're going to install an FTP server. I'll explain that when we do that. And then we're going to attack the new user with Hydra to crack their password. Sounds pretty exciting, right? Okay. So, step one, download a password list. Basically, the way that I have this set up, again, it's a follow along lab. I have the instructions here, but I also have my Kali pulled up just like everybody else, so we can do it together. So step one, open a Firefox browser. Bada bing. And step two, go to this big long website. I did have it saved. And it's not saved. Alright, so we're just gonna roll with it without having to type that whole thing in. It's basically this one right here. So this is the website that we would have typed in right here. Worst passwords. So here, the next step is click the raw button on the right side of the page. So you'll see this again from the top. Just scroll down. It's right here. Right click anywhere on the page and select Save Page As. Sounds pretty easy. Save Page As. Change the name to passwords.txt and make sure the location is root downloads. I actually did this already. Okay, and close our Firefox browser. Step one's done. Alright, so step two, we're going to make the new user account. Again, this is going to be our target. It's on the same machine. So if for some reason you wanted to attack a target on the same machine, that's what we're doing. So first instruction, from the desktop, click the places in the top left and click downloads. desktop, places, downloads. Double click the passwords text file we just made and open it. Okay. Double click. Here's the file. Next one's kind of a joke. Feel free to look at these bad passwords. We got 123 password, so on, so on. Oh, there is a Star Wars one. Figures. I actually looked at a lot of these, and a lot of them are kind of profane. Okay. For this lab, we're going to use number 25, trust no one. We need to note this for later, basically for our account creation here down here. So again, it's trust no one. It's number 25. Number 25, trust no number one. So if you need to write that down, go ahead. I don't need to. I've done this 4 days in a row. Close the password text document and the downloads folder. I'm basically doing a little housekeeping here. On the left part of the desktop, click Terminal to open a terminal. I hope you know how to do this, but there we go. We got a terminal. Okay, in the terminal, type add user, 2 minus signs, I call them. Home, John Doe. You can read it right there. I'm going to type it out. I forget pretty quickly. So again, what we're doing here, add user, does what it sounds like. It adds a user. Home is directory. John Doe is the user. When you do that, you press enter, which is sort of implied after each time you see the type, and then it says that it's implied to hit enter at the end. So we're going to press enter. Okay, it's asking us for the new password. Again, that's right here. It is now prompting us for the new password. Again, we're going to use trust no the number 1. The next step, we'll go ahead and read. It's going to reprompt. Type the same thing in, trust no 1. For privacy, it doesn't pick it up there. This part we can skip, which I said down here, next parts we can skip, and then it's going to have us confirm. So skip, is this stuff correct? Y, enter. Bada bing, we did step 2. Okay, so let's go to step 3. Step 3 is use Nmap to scan our system. Again, if you don't know how to do this, you need to know how to do this. Nmap is very, very important in the whole point of whether you're checking your own network for vulnerabilities, trying to do a penetration test, whatever you're doing, you need to know how to use this. So this could be a subject on itself. I figure other people were doing it, so I still have to use it. So step 3, number 1 here, using the same open terminal, type ifconfig space -a. ifconfig space -a. There's lots of ways to get that, but basically what we're looking for is our IP address. This is mine, 192.168.2.2. Yours is probably different. I'm gonna bring that up a lot. Yours is probably different. Okay, this says what I just said, displays our IP address. Look at the second line. It says inet, then your IP address. Mine says 192.168.2.2. Again, yours is probably different. In the same terminal, now we're going to type nmap and then your IP address. This is my IP address. You're going to type your IP address. So back here, nmap. Again, what this is doing is looking for open ports, which, to my frustration, this virtual machine doesn't have any. So without an open port, you can't really attack yourself too much. So I spent a lot of time figuring out how to open up ports and gonna save you guys all that time. Okay, we're using nmap to look for ports, vulnerabilities. Currently, we'll notice there's no ports. This is a problem. Well, it is secure, but it is a problem since we're trying to hack our own machine. We will address this issue in our next step. Cool, done with step 3. Alright, update system settings. From the desktop, click Places in the top left and click Computer. Places. Computer. Pretty easy stuff. Double click the ETC folder to open it. Double click the APT folder to open it. Go ahead and rock them out. ETC, APT. Feel like I'm in the ROC. Whatever those 90 songs were. Okay, double click the sources.list file to open it. Pretty easy. Sources.list. Alright, this is where the magic happens. In the newly opened Software and Updates window, click on the box next to Officially Supported Main. Click on the box next to this. Click on the box next to that. It's basically click these 3 boxes. Okay. Now we're going to close the window in the bottom right. In the prompt window that pops up, click Reload. Close the window. Click Reload. Alright. Seems really easy. That wasn't easy to figure out. Close the Open Files window. That's this thing, a file window. We're going to close it. Just again, I like housekeeping. Boom. Done with step 4. Step 5. Install FTP server. From the open terminal, or open one if needed, if you accidentally close it, type app-get install VSFTPD. App. Am I lagging here? I think I'm just lagging for a second. Come on, lag. Huh. Looks like it's lagging from that update that we just allowed it to have access to. So I'm gonna click over and pause the video for a minute. Okay, welcome back. Had to take a little break, let the thing catch up here. It actually kicked me off. I don't know if you guys are running into the same thing, but CECH or whatever that is isn't very nice about how long it lets you stay inactive, and re-logging in makes me close my whole browser, which gets rid of all my tabs, and just kind of, I don't really like their log in, log off thing. But anyway, step 5, we're going to install an FTP server. You might be asking yourself, why are we doing this? Well, the answer is so we create a vulnerability in our system. FTP uses port 21, and with a FTP server installed in our system, port 21 will be open. All right, so here we go. From the open terminal, or again, open one if needed, we need to type app-get install VSF TPD. Here we go. App-get install VSF TPD. So this was the whole reason that we did step 4. I'm sure everybody else ran into it, but app-get would not work without what we did in step 4. It was not easy to figure out either. So we just installed a server, FTP server, pretty quick. Side note, this function, what I just said, it's very quick. Wait until it's finished. You can tell it's finished because the prompt return. Once finished, we need to turn it on. So we're going to type service VSF TPD start. Service VSF TPD start. Bada bing. Okay. Next, we will check the status and make sure it's on. So we're going to type service VSF TPD status. You can also hit up, which takes you to your last thing, STATUS. Bingo. And here we see that it's active and running. That's what we want. Good. So notice it says active, then we're going to stop watching it basically, which if you're using terminal and you're in something like that, you hit Control and press C at the same time to exit. Control C. Bingo. All right, next we will use Nmap again to confirm that FTP port 21 is now open. So remember, we used Nmap earlier. We need to target ourselves, and aha, 21 TCP open FTP. Remember before all 1000 were closed? Now we have a port open because we have an FTP server that allows us to attack it. Yay! So remember to use your own address when you're double checking with Nmap. And Nmap, we will see that it's open. Mission success. We're now having an opening to attack. Now for the fun part. Woohoo! Step 6. Crack the password with Hydra. Okay, so you guys are going to be like, why Hydra? I honestly, there's all these other things, Encrack, Johnny, John, those are pretty popular. From the little bit of experience that I have, Hydra, it just works. So I decided to use Hydra, which although it's not in these little quick access, it's built right in. I didn't have to download it or anything. It's on there. So first we're going to explore some of Hydra's syntax. So in the terminal we've been using, hopefully you guys know this, but to get a quick explanation of the service, you just type the name and press enter. So since this is what my project is on, I'm going to kind of go through some of these, at least the ones that we're going to use. So Hydra, press enter. Okay, I really like the top here. and you can tell it says, please do not use in military or secret service organizations or for legal purposes. This kind of gives you some outline of how to use it. So these are the important ones here. So dash L and then login. This is going to be one of the options that we're using because we know the login information, which is John Doe. So we're going to put dash L space John Doe. If we did not know the login information, we could use a dash capital L and then kind of like our password dictionary text file that we downloaded, you could come up with a username dictionary or make a username dictionary. So if you did that, you would do dash capital L and then the file name for the user dictionary. Dash P is if you wanted to attempt a single, or you can do multiple with a comma. But yeah, basically a single password, or you do a capital P, which is what we're going to be doing, space, and then the the file name, file location name here. Let's see. So other options, I like using dash T. So by default, you see it does 16 simultaneous attacks, which speeds things up, but it can also throw flags, especially if you're trying like an RDP attack. So we're doing FTP, it's maybe a little less sensitive, but still for this, I'm going to do a dash T to slow it down, and it makes it a little funner to watch. Again, if you're using the built-in RockU password list, it has 14 million passwords. You would not want to do them one by one. I set it up at the default, and it said it was going to take 300 days, over 300 days to finish. So depends on how big your password file is and how long you got. Let's see some other ones. So supported services, okay, kind of like I mentioned RDP, we're going to be using FTP. And a lot of these should look familiar. So these are going to be the open port type things that you're going to look for. These are the compatibility um, services that you can use with Hydra. Um, just kind of explains what Hydra is. Again, that's a basic. Just type in Hydra, hitting enter gives you a basic. I'm one of the people where I like to type Hydra -H, and it gives you the long version, which actually has some of the things in here that we are going to use. -F is going to quit when it finds a match, so there's no real reason to keep going unless you want multiple people's accounts. But for this purpose, we want to use that. Where's -V at? V is Verberos, yeah, right here. So this I like because you can kind of eat popcorn and watch it as it goes. So we're going to use that. Again, maybe you don't need to explain everything. That's kind of the whole point in learning, is it really does take time to sit and read, to come up with. It may seem confusing, but at the end of the day, these examples, they're pretty well laid out. We're gonna do one. I'm at this first one. It's pretty easy to understand. You type the service, or the program that you're going to use, Hydra. You're doing the -L again because we know the username. In this instance, they're saying the user's called user, and then -P, and then they're using like we are, a text file full of passwords. Like we are, they're attacking an FTP vulnerability at this address. So it's not too complicated. Let's see where we're at. Side note, yep, right there. Okay, we are ready to attack the user account we made, John Doe. So I'll explain the next line in the video. So in the terminal, we're going to type Hydra, again that's the program, -F, so that quits the program when it finds a match, dash capital V, that allows us to watch the progress, dash T1 is going to limit the service to just use one parallel attack instead of the default 16, dash L is, since we know the user is John Doe, dash capital P. You do want to put the location here. I'm sure more advanced Linux users know a way around that, but I just put that. And then the service we're going to use is FTP semicolon backslash backslash your IP address. This is my IP address. So let's bust that guy out. Let's see which way I had it set up. F V T1 L John Doe P. This is very case sensitive, so make sure you spell everything correct. Bada bing. Hit enter. Eat popcorn. I don't have any popcorn. Or else I would. Like buttery and salty popcorn. Okay, it's attacking. Let's make this a little wider. Oh, oh, no. Okay. So you can see it's trying to log in with each one of the passwords from the password list. And it's failing. Oh no, it's failing. So it's going to continue to go through these while you eat your popcorn. Heck, one night I was trying the 10,000 word one. I just let it run all night, but CECH kicked me off in the middle of the night, which kind of ruined it. Alright, come on, man. Just find it. Mm-hmm. Again, it would probably be safe on that dash T to run 4, but for a video, I felt like watching them. Boom! Jackpot! John Doe, right there, shows it. Host, login, John Doe, passwords, trust no one. I mean, again, we already knew it, but with a simple FTP port open, we just found John Doe's password. So almost every computer is going to have ports open, which means they are vulnerable. If people get access and have a simple program and people don't use a complicated uppercase, lowercase, numbers, character combination, they're going to break your password. So hopefully you can see how easy that was. I know it took a long journey to get here, setting up our virtual machine, kind of explaining stuff, but that was Hydra. So sit back and watch it work. The program will stop once a match is found. So congratulations. Yay! We just cracked the password. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. I did have fun learning all this. I did get frustrated. I went to sleep. I would wake up, work on it. But I have to admit that I learned quite a bit. Some of the sources, it would say, especially when I was trying to figure out why the apt-get wouldn't work, that was very frustrating figuring that out. But hopefully you guys enjoyed this. You could follow along. Hopefully you liked my visual setup, with having the explanations laid out and kind of doing it along. I think that's always a good way to learn, is show, do. So thank you again. My name is Mike Bird. I've had a great year. Bye bye.